my response to that would be that, for one, do you know how many illegal white people from European countries there are in America right now? But they're not rounding them up. And that's where the problem lies. So it's not even, when you treat one group as the enemy and you target that group to say, you know, what Trump did and the way that he won, and it worked like a charm. It's not a new technique, but it worked. He said, the reason why you're in the situation you are in right now is because of those people over there. And it worked. That's all he had. If you watch the debates, I mean, whatever you feel about Hillary Clinton or Kamala Harris, right? Who was the more intelligent? Who was the more learner? Who was the more up to date on all the facts? Who could articulate everything? It's not even close. So Trump came up there, and every question he said, they're coming to get you. They're eating the dogs. And that wasn't even a question. So he stuck to the script of fear. So now what happens, and Malcolm X used to talk about this because this is what they used to do to us. You create this monster, this like, and it's not, you dehumanize a group of people to the point where when mainstream America sees that person being brutalized, they don't feel the same way. So when they would see a black person being killed by the police, they would say, oh, let's wait for all the facts to come out and see what really happened and if he really deserved that. Right? So that dehumanization is wrong no matter who it happens to. And so when you see young people, I was at Carver Middle School today, and these young people are amazing. And this is something that is on their minds and on their hearts because they're seeing something. And there's a word, empathy. So even if it's not happening directly to you, you could say that it's wrong that it's happening to anybody else. And that's literally what we were trying to get when George Floyd happened, and for whatever reason, you know, police brutality had been going on for a long time. I don't know if it was because we was at COVID and everybody was in the house, and you know, but when George Floyd happened and everybody saw it, in mainstream America, when I say mainstream America, I mean white people. So when white people saw George Floyd, they're like, oh my gosh, maybe there is a problem with police, right? And it was this big shock to them, and and we were saying, oh, so now they are now having empathy for something that they are not directly affected by. And I would speak at different universities, and sometimes there are all white audiences, and they would say, you know, well, you have to understand, we don't have the same experiences that you have with the police. And some of the white kids were talking, and they were like, yeah, when I get stopped by the police, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get points on my license now, and you know, I don't know if my insurance is gonna go up. And all the black people in the audience start laughing. And they're like, why are they I was like, do you know why they're laughing? Because that's not what we think about when we're stopped by the police. If we're getting points on our license, that's the furthest thing from our mind, right? But trying to get white people to understand that there's a different world, and black people don't live in the same world that you live in. So even right now, at my big age, right? I ain't doing nobody's crime. I'm driving down the street. When I see the sirens, when I hear them, when I see the lights, I tense up. White people they don't feel like that. You know what I mean? They don't have to have the talk with their kids, and they're going out and start driving, and you're nervous as a parent because now you got to make sure that they understand that when they're stopped by the police, you can't make any sudden movements. You got to keep your hands attended to. You got to turn your interior lights on. You got to turn your music down. You got to roll your window down. Yes, sir. You can't make any kind. White kids don't have to do that. I went to Syracuse University. I was amazed at how white people talk to the police. And nothing happened, right? So the point of going back to empathy, and when you see something that is happening to another group, I mean, there should be something in your heart that says, that's not right.
I do agree with that, right?